So there's a cemetery in Minneapolis, and it's known as the oldest in the city, but this isn't a story of how spooky or haunted it might be, despite it being Halloween. It's a story about giving a voice to the thousands of people buried there who had nowhere else to go, from the poor to immigrants, children, and African Americans. Jennifer Hoff is introducing you to the woman now telling their stories.
Nestled on the south side of Minneapolis is a quiet place where people are laid to rest.
I do. I just feel responsible for them.
Sue Hunter-Weir, though, is bringing them back to life.
As a society, we choose who to remember and who we choose to forget, and we're going after the people who've been forgotten.
For 25 years, she's researched the Pioneers and Soldiers Cemetery. But of the 27,000 people buried here, most were neither.
These are folks at Pioneer Soldiers who were not lauded in the community as big names, but they made Minneapolis the city that we know today.
John Crippen leads the Hennepin History Museum, known for sharing the area's diverse stories, tackling perhaps its most important one yet, with Hunter-Weir's help.
She's one of the memory keepers and, frankly, a memory restorer.
In 1858, New England Transplants first opened the private cemetery, oftentimes donating plots to families who couldn't afford them and without restrictions, integrating races, ethnicities, and religion, unlike more public and church graveyards.
The point of an exhibit like this and the research is this is how we develop empathy. You start to care about people.
Whether it's John Cheatham, the city's first black firefighter, or even convicted murderer Harry Hayward, whose handcuffs are on display.
The cemetery has plenty of notable people who are buried there, but the History Museum wanted to instead highlight the people whose stories haven't been told, and often are the ones that can unite us.
There are up to 12,000 children buried here. Most of them died due to disease and contaminated water. 10 African American Civil War veterans, many of whom didn't have markers until now. And nearly 50 women who took their own lives, many leaving behind notes the newspapers would print then, like Anna Clark, who wrote about agony after losing 8 babies, used her last nickel on the streetcar to die at the cemetery where her husband was also buried.
I'm not related to her by biology or in any other way, but she matters, right? She matters deeply to me.
Hunter-Weir's work can sometimes right wrongs or reveal wretched family history, but ultimately, learning from the past only helps us better understand the future.
It gives people that commonality, and it gives people an understanding of how their community was built.
In Minneapolis, Jennifer Hoff, KARE 11 News.
Been by that cemetery many times, never knew. It is closed for the season, but will open again for Veterans Day on the 11th of November. As for the exhibit, which looks incredible, that's open through next year.